The first thing that comes in your head when I say a masculine man is probably someone who's cold, stoic, emotionless, aggressive. And that's honestly why most people nowadays, when they take photos, not selfies, but mirror photos, they just give it that stoic look, that showing jawline, trying to show that they are masculine. And in reality, a lot of people misunderstood the meaning of man up. And unfortunately, the people who say to man up, they don't even know the meaning of it. They just say it so you can feel shameful for the action that you've been doing or what you just did. So, parents nowadays, if you act bad, they're like, yeah, man up, so you feel guilty, so you don't feel masculine. Did you know that a man relates to the cycle of human beings? That means they can also feel, they can also breathe, they can also be emotional and cry. Did you know that a man can cry? Did you know that a man can sometimes be emotional too? This is a part of being a human being. This is a part of being a human being species, is to be able to feel, cry, and be emotional, not just complete stoicism. Then why do people advise us that we always be stoic, cold, and aggressive? It's because the only thing you should be cold and aggressive in is your goals. Other than that, if you have anything that relates to your emotions, that means you have a big heart. There is a huge difference between being soft and having a big heart. You think that being soft means I'm a emotional person, vulnerable. I'm an empathic person. I feel people's shoes. When I say those traits, the first thing that's gonna come in your head is that he's a soft guy, isn't really, strong, and weak. And that's not the case at all. Having those traits means that you have a big heart. That means the people around you can feel safe because you can feel, their shoes. You also have emotions, so you can relate to what they're into. But but let's say you were someone who's stoic with them. Let's say, your wife or, your soulmate is crying and you're just there not showing any expressions, like you don't even know them. Which one do you think they're gonna relate to or they're gonna like more? The one that shows emotions to basically the problem that their soulmate is going to, or just the one who just doesn't show emotions at all? Obviously the one with emotions. This is common sense, right? That's why Iman is a mixture, like a mix between softness and hardness. Like put soft plus hard equals a man. This is exactly us. If you only choose softness, you're not a man. If you only choose hardness, you're not a man either. So Iman is a combination between basically softness and hardness. And let me correct the meaning of softness in your head. Softness means someone who's not ambitious, someone who basically has nothing to do all day and just sits or sleeps all day, holding his phone, scrolling like TikTok owes him some money. Bro, like this, you're soft. You got nothing to do, you're soft. You're unambitious, you're soft. But if you feel, you're empathic, you're vulnerable, you have a big heart. Did you know that God, for Muslims, I don't know, maybe you're Christian watching this, I am a Muslim, and we believe that the Prophet is the messenger that, helped, spread Islam. So God sent upon the Prophet Muhammad a verse that said, if you were hard-hearted and cruel, everyone will abandon you. I don't know exactly, but I'll show you a photo of it right here. Basically, it means that if you were someone who is a stoic, like the belief you have, everyone will leave you. You have absolutely no one in your life. And what kind of life is it? Like, of course, one of the purposes and one of the goals you have as a man is to be married and be a father. Obviously, you have to have emotions. You have to feel. But you shall never, ever, ever relate your emotions in your workspace or your work hours. If you use emotions in your workspace or your work hours, then you are a soft person. Other than that, you have a big heart. So if you are a soft, what you call soft person, or a big-hearted person, and you also focus and you are a stoic to your goals, you are a man. So you are basically a combination between having a big heart, which you call soft, and it's wrong, a big heart, and hardness, or basically stoicism to your goals. This makes you a man. But does that mean a man can cry? Obviously, yeah. People underestimate crying. Men think that crying makes you a lesser of a man. That's not true at all. When you cry, it's like you hear the wounds in your heart. But if you hold it and you choose to be silent and you choose to be absent and you hide and you don't show those emotions, those pain within you, those wounds turn into scars. That's why you would be having, traumas and insecurities and PTSDs. And that's exactly why there's something called therapy. Let me give you an example. Let's say that we are in one team, and there is an enemy who's coming to invade us, so he can, steal some of our stuff. We are going to defend ourselves, right? What are we gonna do? We're gonna gather up, we're gonna be ready, we're gonna warm up, we're gonna have our guns, and we're ready. And as soon as they come in, we're gonna fight. And the enemy might hurt one of our boys. What is the first thing that's gonna come in your head when some of our boys is hurt? Cover him, bring some bandages, and protect him till he's okay and he can use a gun so he can also defend himself and defend our tribe. So what you did is that you helped him get to safety. You covered him, you gave him bandages, you gave him, safety, you stood with him, you were by his side. And now he healed the wounds that he was carrying, the bullets and all of that. Of course, he did have some scars, but not as much as if he was left, which is gonna lead me to my second point. What if we actually left him, hurt? What if we left him, opened to enemies? He can get shot, he can get stabbed, he can even die. If he survived, he will be having a lot of traumas, a lot of PTSDs, or just PTSD, and a lot of insecurities. And do you think he's gonna trust anyone? No. He might not even love anymore because of the kind of character he became. He'll just be moving with a dark face, with a frown. And you talk to him, it's like you're talking to a ghost, someone who isn't alive. He will most definitely have a lot of scars. But you wanna know something? His emotions die. And he needs, like some people, I've heard this from what I've read, there are some soldiers that, they were left alone in wars. When they survived, where they went? They went to human rehabilitation, or human rehab. That's basically a center or like a hospital that you go to, and they teach you how to be a human being again. And that means that you get back to basically being a human again. So what you did, like leaving someone hurt or leaving yourself hurt, took away your human senses. You're not someone with emotions anymore. So human rehab gets you back where it is. And you want to know something? Every single time, from what I've heard, every single time an officer would have like a very big, arrest, or, arresting like a big criminal, after the whole job is done, they go to a therapy. It's because they know for a fact they were wounded inside. The officers, the big ones, the ones that everyone feels safe around, those people get hurt too. and they go to therapy and they improve their mental health and they get back standing and they are willing to continue the job again. Bandages heals the wounds in the skin. Therapy, crying and emotions heals the wounds in the heart. So if you keep holding your emotions, you will be exactly like the soldier that had no one to save him, full of traumas, PTSD, insecurities, and basically having that dead emotion, dead human within you. And unfortunately, people will not acknowledge what you have done, and they will just abandon you because they like the one with a big heart.
There's something that came in mind, and it's honestly gonna help you with understanding my point. I want you to view like wounds that your heart carry as weight. The more weight you have, the heavier it is for you to move through life. And it's honestly gonna make you, more incapable of taking more pain that life is gonna throw at you. So when you go to therapy and when you express your emotions, you are decreasing or taking the weight off your back. So that's an advantage for you, of course.
I use the example battlefield is because life is a battlefield. Life is basically a road that you don't know what you can expect from it, but you have to walk it anyway. But if you choose to take the easy route and basically pausing and not moving forward, that's when unfortunately, life isn't gonna hurt you. And you need that pain so you can improve. You need the pain to grow. You wanna be something. You obviously have something in mind that you wanna be, something you wanna accomplish, but you just never express it. You just never acknowledge it. So it just keeps within you. It just stays within your heart that it just disappears as time goes by. And you realize that the only thing you want in life is just comfort, pleasure, and that's it. That your only pursuits in life is just gonna be those. And that's when you're a soft person. That's when I can say that you are a soft person. With that being said, now you understand that softness is something to do with ambitions, goals, and improvement and development. Going and choosing pain as we go through life. And softness and having a big heart, which you misunderstood and you call it a soft person, is someone who actually relates to emotions more. But why do everyone calls shouts and says that we need to be stoic? Is because we need to be stoic within our goals, nothing to do with our heart. So when you have a big heart, you're a respectful person, you are vulnerable, you can express your emotions. And remember that crying doesn't make you a lesser of a man. Crying heals the wounds in your heart, just like a bandage would heal any wound in your skin. With that being said, remember that no one will save you but yourself.